Today we are going to study a very important topic of your international relation, basically the deterrence. That is the topic that we are going to study. Deterrence, how it works. Deterrence. We will link two things. Deterrence is the part, if you look, it's part of your paper 2 section A in concepts of IR. But I will also link that to your paper 2 section B, India and the nuclear question. These are two different chapters, but we will understand them in an integrated manner. Cool. Having done that, let's start the syllabus and let's start the chapter. Let's start our journey basically. Nuclear deterrence. It's not deterrence, it's deterrence. Nuclear deterrence. For example, what is deterrence? Deterrence basically means to avoid, to limit what other person can do. For example, if I say this is a Lakshman Rekha, if you dare to cross it, you will be slapped. So it will create a deterrence in your mind that any time I will cross this, I will be penalized, I will be punished. Personal deterrence, how it applies to in case of nations. In case of nations, it is very simple. Nations may, one nation, say for example India will try to communicate to the other nation, say for example Pakistan, that if you dare to do cross-border terrorism, you will be penalized by military action. That was the logic of our surgical strike. Same was the logic. Pakistan carried out what? It carried out cross-border incursion. We responded through a military strike. That was to show to Pakistan, every time you will send your terrorists in India, you will be penalized militarily. Surgical strikes. That was the logic. Deterrence. I hope the concept is clear. So layman's language we can say deterrence is the ability of one nation to limit what other can do. To limit what other can do. So that is the purpose of deterrence. That is basically the purpose of deterrence. That is the ability to limit what other can do. Deterrence. Now purpose is clear, to limit what other can do. Now we need to understand another thing, the need for deterrence. क्यों हम deterrence करते हैं? It's basically a simple logic. ठीक है? Need for deterrence, there are two dimensions. First I told you purpose and need is the same thing. It follows what other can do. Next, weapons of deterrence, or shall I say tools of deterrence. Weapon. There are various mechanisms. For example, one is conventional, the other is what we called as weapon of mass destruction, WMD. That is the thing. In case of conventional weapon, for example, your armed forces, they are using guns, artillery, whatever may be the case. They are conventional weapon. I can deter them. I took the example. Pakistan carried out cross-border terrorism in India. We responded by a military strike, but that was conventional weapon strike. Even in Balakot strike, when Pakistan-based terrorists carried out attack on our CRPF personals in Jammu Kashmir, we responded by a Balakot strike. That was also to create deterrence in Pakistan. Every time you do terrorist attack, we will respond. But that was conventional deterrence. The other is nuclear deterrence, especially weapon of mass destruction. It is also known as ultimate deterrence. Why? Because they are based on another concept in IR known as mutually assured destruction or MAD. Pagal. MAD or Pagal or mutually assured destruction. It basically says if I use a nuclear weapon, then of course it will annihilate everything. And that is why nuclear weapons are known as the case of ultimate deterrence. So what we have understood so far, what is deterrence, purpose of deterrence, tools of deterrence. Now next is dimension of deterrence. That is what everything is written here. For example, theme of deterrence or the purpose, as I told you, to prevent attack. Means of deterrence, as I just told you, conventional weapon or nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapon, ultimate deterrence. Okay? That is the logic. We have seen three things. Now we need to see dimension of deterrence. Dimension of deterrence. Now how it works? Dimension, there are two dimensions. There are two dimensions of deterrence. One is psychological and the other is physical. One is psychological, other is physical. Now how it works? Psychological, I can take an example. For example, you are in a relationship. In a relationship, there are two partners. You create a Lakshman Rekha for the other partner, meaning I do not care with whom you go. Means if you are roaming with your friend, fine. If you are going out with them, fine. But I have a Lakshman Rekha. You will not engage physically. Means you will not cheat me. That's psychological deterrence. The other partner, you are not basically physically assaulting her or you are putting gun over her head, but you have created a line. If you cross this Lakshman Rekha, I am out. So that is psychological deterrence or mental deterrence, because without using any weapon, any tool, you have forced her because of the power of love here. Psychological deterrence, that the psyche of that girl or boy, whatever may be the case, will never try to cross that line, because that person fears if the line is crossed and the other partner knows it, I am out. That was the logic. Next is physical deterrence. समझ लीजिए, psychological, mental deterrence, or physical when I personally restrict you. For example, in case of military, I told you, na, Pakistan carried out aggression on India through terrorism. India responded by the surgical strike. Then again it happened, we responded by Balakot strike. That's physical deterrence. We are beating you. Every time you cross the Lakshman Rekha, you are bitten. Okay? So now we have covered four things about deterrence. What is deterrence? Purpose of deterrence, tools of deterrence, and dimension of deterrence. Four things are covered. Now we will cover another thing known as criticism. Now, what is a criticism of deterrence? There is one thing. If, for example, again take the same example, a personal level example, you will understand. There are two partners, one couple. So what in that case limited is, if the other person never get to know. It happens in a lot of relationship. The partner is abusing that, he is cheating or she is cheating, but as long as the other partner does not get to know, so what will happen? No deterrence. First thing is this, no information. Second, if you know that the other person is dependent on you, as happens in case of housewives. Housewife के case क्या होता है? The male knows that she is the housewife, she is dependent on me, and the female knows that she is dependent on the. So she, a lot of times she does not, she basically brushes away. उसे पता लगता है इस तरह की चीजें चलती है, but she still brushes away. And same is the logic with respect to domestic violence. You getting my point? That is what we are talking about, criticism of deterrence. So we understood two criticism. First, information. Now expand that to the level of nations, countries. For example, India want to deter Pakistan. India want to deter Pakistan, that Pakistan should not use its terrorists to carry out attack on India. We want to deter them. So what we will do, first we will spread the information that we have nuclear weapon. If you dare to cross, I will use the nuclear weapon. सीधा सा लॉजिक हो गया. That's information deterrence. Second is the credibility. As I told you, if there are two partners, if the one partner is dependent on another partner, then that dependent partner, whatever threat that person is, for example, the housewife giving threat to the husband, that husband knows she has nowhere to go except me. So in that case, the deterrence of the housewife goes away. That is credibility. For example, if India says, if you cross the border, Pakistan terrorists cross the border, I will respond by a military strike. So it will create deterrence. But if Pakistan does not believe it, Pakistan will like, बोलता ही रहता है तो. If the Pakistan will be like that, India keeps on saying this, I don't care. Then in that scenario, Pakistan will keep on doing aggression, and India, in spite of having nuclear weapon, cannot respond. That is exactly happened. India acquired nuclear weapon in when? 1990s. Through what? Operation Shakti. That was a code name. Operation Shakti, or also known as Pokhran 2 operation. Pokhran 2 blast or Operation Shakti. With that we acquired nuclear weapon. As soon as we acquired nuclear weapons, which we just studied, is ultimate form of deterrence. Pakistan tested that. In 1990s we carried out this. Pakistan tested it by using what? by using terrorist. Pakistan said, you are saying na ki nuclear weapon is a deterrence, so let me use terrorist and see how well India responds. It did not work. In spite of having nuclear weapons, Pakistan kept on supporting terrorist organization, basically Pakistani military, that kept on coming to India, and we could not deter that in spite of having nuclear weapon. What we lost? Credibility. Clear? And second, I told you information. So this is the criticism of deterrence. That deterrence depends on the credibility of the power trying to deter other power. अगर मैं आपको डराना चाहता हूं, then I have to make sure कि आपको पता लग जाए कि मैं कुछ करूंगा. अगर आपको लगा कि मैं कुछ करूंगा ही नहीं, if you feel like that I will not do anything, if I want to scare you and you feel like I will not do anything, means my credibility is nil, nada, zero, nil, non-defined. ठीक है, non-defined, not available. Then in that scenario there is no deterrence. I hope those two deterrents are clear. Okay. Another thing, these are the two criticism. Now there is another thing, this point, that is deterrence may work between states. Now what this point says? It simply says that deterrence, as I told you, a Lakshman Rekha, you cross, you will be penalized. But that only works between states. Say for example, a terrorist coming from Pakistan. For a single terrorist coming from Pakistan, we cannot nuke entire Pakistan. ये तो कोई बात ही नहीं हुई. सिंपल सी बात है, ये तो कोई बात है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हैव अ फैमिली, योर पड़ोसी हैज अ फैमिली, योर नेबर हैज अ फैमिली. इफ योर सन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द नेबर सन बीट्स योर सन, तो फॉर दैट यू विल किल द एंटायर फैमिली? नहीं ना. देयर हैज टू बी प्रोपोर्शनेट रिस्पॉन्स. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. Deterrence works well within armies. India possessing nuclear weapon can deter Pakistani army. Pakistan possessing nuclear weapon can deter India's army. But India possessing nuclear weapon cannot deter individual terrorist. ठीक है, तो this is the third point of problem, that deterrence may work between states. And the term, देखिए, one term it has used, asymmetrical actors. Always remember from now on, asymmetrical actors का मतलब होता है terrorist. Asymmetrical actors means which are not the part of the state, generally speaking. Layman's language, symmetrical actors like nations, governments, armies, proper armies. Asymmetrical actors like terrorists. ठीक है, these are the bodies known as asymmetrical. Remember this, it's a realist term basically. ठीक है, तो we have seen three limitations. So now if I summarize whatever we have studied, we understood what is deterrence, then we understood tools of deterrence, then we understood purpose of deterrence, then dimension of deterrence and limitation of deterrence. This much is clear. Now as I told you, Baki, I have written this, supporter of deterrence and all. Now we have to look at two issues. Now we have covered deterrence without going into too much technicalities. That will be covered when you will have the entire course, because there are numerous concepts. No? I cannot cover them easily here. So when the entire course will be there, those concepts will also be the part of it. Now we have to do two case studies. In this deterrence, we will do two case studies. I always try to get case studies. Without case studies, there is no fun in concepts. So case study 1 is West versus East argument. 1. And second case study that we will do is India's nuclear program. India's nuclear program and its effectiveness. India's nuclear program and its effectiveness. Two things we will understand. First, आपका West versus East. What is the argument? That is what I have listed here in the notes. Kenneth Waltz, Mearsheimer. Basically, these are the scholars. What is the argument? The argument given by the scholars of the West is that nuclear weapon can only be possessed by developed countries. That's the argument they propound. Why? You know, na biasness. Developed countries, खासकर US and UK, they have a tendency to lecture everyone on human rights. They lecture everyone. Every nowadays you will find lectures by the US and UK. But again, if you see what US has done in Afghanistan, the number of people US has killed in its invasion of Afghanistan and Iraq, no other terrorist, even terrorist organization may not have killed that much person. ठीक है, तो डू नॉट लेक्चर अस ऑन ह्यूमन राइट्स, बट दे हैव द टेंडेंसी. सो दिस स्कॉलर दैट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, केनेथ वॉल्ट्ज एंड मीरशाइमर, basically they have emphasized that nuclear weapon shall only be possessed by Western countries, not Eastern countries. What is the logic? Simple logic. They say because Western countries believes in human rights, human rights. Okay? Western countries basically believe in human rights. They have more concern for freedom, liberty, this and that. So that's why Western countries shall possess this. Eastern countries like India and China, these are countries, basically all the countries they are talking about, these countries does not have good democracy. They do not have democracy, they are ruled by military dictatorship, they are failed state, numerous arguments they propound. You got the difference? This is the debate between West and East with respect to nuclear weapon and using them as deterrence. In this context, when we will study the entire course, we will study something known as NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. It was a treaty signed in 1970. It was a treaty enforced in 1970. Under this treaty, two kind of countries have been called out. One is the countries who developed nuclear weapon before NPT. Other are the countries who developed nuclear weapon after NPT. So in this agreement, NPT, India is not a signatory to that. All the countries who have developed nuclear weapon before NPT came into existence are known as legal nuclear powers. उसके बाद जो भी हो रही है वो illegal है as per you can say international law. That is the logic. ठीक है. But again same argument is most of the countries who have developed nuclear weapon before 1970s were European, except of China and Russia. Russia भी you should consider Russia as European country. It largely orientationally European. China is an exception. Apart from that, most of them are European. So you got the argument. So these NPT, the basis of NPT was based on this Mearsheimer's and Kenneth Waltz theory. That is also known as structural realism. We will study structural realism in the entire course. I hope you could understand these things. So here we have understood few points that I need to summarize again, and then we will move to important point about India's nuclear policy. So we understood deterrence, we have seen various dimensions of deterrence. Then we took a very good case study of East versus West. Now another case study, that's important, that is India's nuclear program and its effectiveness. अब क्या होता है, there is a scholar by the name of Rajesh Rajagopalan. ठीक है, he has written proper articles, they are all in the notes basically. What he has said that India does not have a deterrence policy. How is that? India acquired nuclear weapons. और argument क्या था? What was the argument? The simple argument was that India wanted to limit what China will do. India's justification nuclear weapon was China. Pakistan developed nuclear weapon, and Pakistan's justification was India. Pakistan said in 1971 India used its army to dismember me into two countries. East Pakistan, now known as Bangladesh, West Pakistan, proper Pakistan. So Pakistan said, because you have divided me into two countries and you have a very strong army vis-a-vis me, so I am developing nuclear weapons, and these nuclear weapons will have first use policy. मतलब whenever if India tries to take its military in Pakistan, Pakistan will use nuclear weapon. First use policy. India has no first use policy. That India will not use nuclear weapon unless the other power uses nuclear weapon. बात समझ में आई? नो फर्स्ट यूज. अब इसका नुकसान कैसे हुआ? हाउ इट इज डैमेजिंग इंडियाज न्यूक्लियर डिटरेंस? इट इज डैमेजिंग इन द वे India has acquired nuclear weapon, Pakistan acquired nuclear weapon, but Pakistan nuclear weapon are effective because Indian government, according to Rajesh Rajagopalan's analysis, always fear escalation. Because Indian government fear escalation, we do not have effective deterrence. इसको ऐसे समझते हैं, if I can assure you, this is the Lakshman Rekha, जितनी बार you will cross it, I will slap you. I will not rest until unless I will slap you. So it will ensure deterrence. What happens in India is we always fear escalation. That's why India's deterrence is not working. Example से समझते हैं. देखिए what happened. Pakistan carried out some new आतंकवादी हमला. Pakistan carried out some terrorist attacks in India. India responded by a surgical strike. Very good initiative of Modi. For the first time, that surgical strike, what it did is it called out Pakistan's nuclear blackmail. I just told you that Pakistan developed nuclear weapon and said that my nuclear weapon have first use policy. If you dare to, if India's conventional military dare to cross the border, I will use nuclear weapons. So it was a blackmail that was working very good for a long time. But Narendra Modi's surgical strikes in Pakistan called out that nuclear blackmail, because after those surgical strikes, Pakistan did not use nuclear weapon, even when it had the even when it had the first use policy. So we basically called out Pakistan nuclear weapon. But again, then what happened? Then again attack took place on CRPF convoy in Jammu Kashmir. Attack took place. India responded militarily by Balakot strike. Again, we called out the blackmail. And in that, we established this. Jitni bar, for howsoever many times you cross the border, your Atangwadis, your terrorists will come to India, I will respond. Good initiative, but now comes the problem. That's why Rajesh Rajagopalan has said that India's nuclear deterrence is ineffective vis-a-vis Pakistan. It's a very good example how nuclear deterrence does not work. He took an example. After Balakot strike, Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Indian Ministry of Defence, basically Indian government, they issued a notification, a statement why they carried out Balakot strike. In that, they clearly said that our target were non-military terrorist establishment. That is what Rajesh Rajagopalan has picked and said, this statement, आप जस्टिफाई कर रहे हो ना, पाकिस्तान बेस्ड टेररिस्ट ने अटैक किया सीआरपीएफ ने, आपने बालाकोट स्ट्राइक करी. एक तो आपने इतना बड़ा रिस्क लिया वर्ल्ड वॉर, बोलते हैं इंडिया पाकिस्तान वॉर का, ऑलमोस्ट वॉर की कंडीशन थी उस वक्त. यू टुक सच अ ह्यूज रिस्क ऑफ वॉर. उसके बाद आपने बैक ट्रैक कर लिया. यू जस्ट बैक ट्रैक बाय गिविंग दिस स्टेटमेंट, सिंपल स्टेटमेंट विच सेज दैट वी वर नॉट टारगेटिंग पाकिस्तानी मिलिट्री, वी वर टारगेटिंग नॉन टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. आपने क्या बताया पाकिस्तान को? आपने सिंपल इतना बताया पाकिस्तान को कि हम एस्केलेशन नहीं चाहते. And that is what Rajesh Rajagopalan has said, that India's nuclear deterrence is not effective because India always fears of escalation. और जब तक you fears of escalation, there will be no deterrence. सिंपल सा लॉजिक है ना. अगर I can guarantee you, चाहे मुझे कुछ भी करना पड़े, मैं बैंड बजा के जाऊंगा. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यूर इन अ जॉब, आप मान लीजिए आप एम्प्लॉयर है, यू हैव एम्प्लॉयड समबडी, आपने एम्प्लॉय करा किसी व्यक्ति को, और यू विल मेक श्योर, आप उनके दिमाग में अगर ये फीड कर दें इस बात को कि इफ यू डेयर टू लीव द जॉब विदाउट अ प्रॉपर नोटिस, इन प्राइवेट जॉब्स व्हेन यू लीव द जॉब यू हैव टू सर्व अ नोटिस. अगर आप उनके दिमाग में फीड कर दें, इफ यू डेयर टू लीव द जॉब विदाउट अ प्रॉपर नोटिस, आई विल टर्न योर लाइफ फ्रॉम हेवन टू हेल, और चाहे उसके लिए मुझे किसी भी हद तक जाना पड़े, चाहे मुझे खुद को ही क्यों ना बर्बाद करना पड़ जाए. दैट काइंड ऑफ मैडनेस इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर डिटरेंस. तब डिटरेंस वर्क करता है. समझ में आई बात? यहाँ पे यही प्रॉब्लम हो गई. हमने बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया था बालाकोट का, लेकिन आफ्टर दैट वी टुक अ वेरी गुड इनिशिएटिव ऑफ बालाकोट, बट आफ्टर दैट व्हेन वी शूट दैट स्टेटमेंट ना, saying कि we are not targeting this and that, justifications, basically according to Rajesh Rajagopalan, that shows that Indian establishment still fears escalation, and as long as it will fear escalation, terrorist event will happen. And again it happened. For example, recently when Narendra Modi ji had discussion with this Jammu Kashmiri separatist, जो आपकी वेरियस पार्टीज है ना, दे आफ्टर अन्यूलिंग आर्टिकल 370 हटा दिया भारत सरकार ने. आफ्टर दैट वी हैड डिस्कशन विद देम, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी. विद इन सेम वीक अ बॉम्ब वाज ड्रॉप्ड ऑन जम्मू कश्मीर एयरबेस, टेक्निकल एरिया ऑफ द एयरबेस. बॉम्ब वाज ड्रॉप्ड एंड वी डिड नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड. सो दिस शोज दैट इंडिया स्टिल फियर्स एस्केलेशन. क्लियर है कहानी? ठीक है. सो दिस वाज बेसिकली अ डेमो, यू मे से, व्हाट वी आर गोना स्टडी. वी विल ऑलवेज कवर दिस इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर, कॉन्सेप्ट्स इन इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर, एंड दैट टू विद रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल्स. जैसे हमने यहाँ समझे, हमने क्या समझा? लेट मी समराइज व्हाट वी हैव स्टडीड सो फार. फर्स्ट हमने समझा व्हाट इज डिटरेंस, देन फर्स्ट वी अंडरस्टूड व्हाट इज डिटरेंस, देन डायमेंशंस ऑफ डिटरेंस, purpose of deterrence, tools of deterrence, criticism of deterrence. After that, we did 2 case studies. One, East versus West argument in case of nuclear weapon deterrence, and then India's nuclear deterrence and its ineffectiveness. I hope it's conclude. I hope you enjoyed, and always remember, class में fun and teaching both are the parts and parcel. वरना बोरियत कैसे पढ़ना है. ठीक है, चलो, have a nice day, and again we will continue. I hope you like the session, and we will continue this journey when you will join the optional. Cool. Have a nice day.